Okay, so this is just over the Hangouts. We're going to go through regular expressions just a little bit. So the first one I was going through here is HTML, where we can use regular expressions. So in general, regular expressions are just the syntax we can use for pattern matching. And so in HTML, we use this pattern attribute. And so we just go pattern equals, and then we put the actual regular expression in quotes. So in this case, we're trying to match a first name and a last name. So we have Bernie Sanders here. So we have the caret matches the beginning of the string of the line here. And string is just, the full, we call this string in computer science and programming, a list of characters. Like it could be letters, numbers, symbols, whatever, but this is a string literal here. So we're going to match the entire string. And we're basing that on this caret and the $sign. So then this backslash capital S plus is going to match all of this. And the lowercase capital S is going to match any number of spaces greater than one or greater. So at least one, but it could be multiples, like I was demonstrating. And then we're matching anything that's not a space again. Okay. Now the problem is, of course, this would also match. So would this. Okay. This would not match, though, with another space. And of course, neither would this. So that's not the greatest of all regular expressions for matching a name. Okay, but quick and dirty, that worked for me. So backslash S just matches anything that's not a space. This matches anything that is a space. This matches anything that is not a space. Again, let's see. Let's bring this up. That website regxr.com is really good at testing and trying things out, and they have that great cheat sheet. So if you want to try these things out, I can copy my test string, paste that here, and I can copy my pattern and paste that. Oops. Paste that in here. And it doesn't like the caret $sign. So that'll match this. Okay. So if you want to try those things out, you got to take the caret $sign out. Then you can try this out. I don't know if that helps at all. You have any other specific questions about regular expressions? Anybody else want to see anything else? They can get relatively complicated, but that can be good. Okay, why did I eliminate the $sign? Yeah, good question. I'm not sure. I just that was my guess as to why it wasn't working. Because I think I had an extra carriage return in here. So it actually does work with the $sign. So if I had an extra carriage return there in my string, then this doesn't match all of a sudden. What I would need to do is, I think if I add an extra S plus at the end, then it would match another carriage return character. The enter key, the carriage return, that matches a space character. So I had an extra space at the end. And that's where this stuff can get tricky. Like if you're using this in a text editor, trying to match things, spaces and carriage returns, you can't always see. Yeah, awesome question. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have just deleted that right away. Probably should have checked to see why that was happening. Bad debugging. And we could do that for all these other ones. Like if we walk through some of the more complicated ones, we could grab this one. I don't know if this is helpful for you guys, so I'm going to keep going on this until you tell me to stop. So, yep, so this one I have the carriage return too, so I deleted that again. So if you do copy and paste on these, you want to double check that. Okay, so we see that this matches here. And so we can kind of break down these parts here. So this explains each section here, okay? So this indicates the start of the regular expression, matches the beginning of the string, okay? So this matches the beginning. And then negated set, this matches negation in here. So we're matching anything that's not a comma, okay? So that means we're going to match all of this is going to match here. This matches all of this first part of the address. Okay. Now that's not ideal because you could have potentially some kind of an address that has a comma in it. So that's perhaps not ideal, right? I couldn't think of any, so that's why I structured it this way. But it kept my regular expression somewhat simple. And then, so then I had followed by a literal comma. So in this case, I have a comma here. So I just put a literal comma in there. So if you put a character in there, it'll match that character unless it's one of these special characters. Followed by 0 or more spaces. Okay, so here I do have a space, but if I take the space out, it'll also match. If I have a bunch of spaces, that'll also match. So \s star matches 0 or more spaces. Okay, followed by exactly 2 capital letters. Okay, so oh, whoops, I jumped ahead here. So I'm matching this right here. So that's this \s. Jumped ahead. Followed by anything that's not a comma again. So that's this. So that also isn't gonna, it's gonna match this. It's gonna match all this. Okay, so I can have a bunch of crazy stuff in there. So it's not gonna do a lot for error checking there. We probably want to have a more complicated matching set in here, but it fixes some of the basics, right? Oops, my chat thing closed. Oh, why did it close when you put a question in there? That's weird. Let's see. The only difference between regular expressions in HTML and JavaScript is the $$. Not necessarily. So when we're doing these in JavaScript, where are we matching those? No, we're in here. We're using the $$ too. Oh, we're putting the slash. So slash the forward beginning slash actually is sort of a designation of a regular expression. So in JavaScript, there are, I guess you could say this is a variable type in a way. This isn't a string variable, it's a regular expression variable. So this is almost like a special kind of variable. So it's by putting it in this syntax, this / beginning and / ending, it's saying this is a regular expression. It's kind of like we designate a string with the double quotes. Yeah, so the question, the variables are to validate. So the ones in HTML, so these patterns are, if you recall, they're going to flip the colors. So if I pull up my address book here. So if I type BS, okay, that'll match the string. But if I type something else, it turns the box red, okay? But if I want it to match, then it turns it green. So that's all the HTML one is doing, is it's turning the box green or red. Now we could have it do something else. We could have it disable the add to contact button too, if it doesn't pass. But that would actually be in the JavaScript, so no matter what, that would be in the JavaScript. But we could say if this is not, if this is, if this status is bad, like don't let this go without even validating the input, without even reading it in. So that is another way we could kind of handle this, to like not even submit it into the JavaScript for processing. Yeah, and then the ones in the JavaScript are where we actually are. That's where I guess if I was choosing for validation reasons, I would want to be more forgiving in the HTML, and then in the JavaScript, because that's where you're doing your actual data processing of things. You want to definitely be very strict in your JavaScript, but then you want to give error messages to the user in your JavaScript explaining what went wrong. So, for instance, like here, you probably shouldn't accept a pound sign for a last name, but then you should say that, like illegal character, and maybe even illegal character for last name. That would be, obviously much more helpful. So, is that helpful? I don't know if if that helps anybody. You want to see more of that? Anything different? I think the best thing to do is just to try some. Grab your fields, grab some of your demo content, and then just build some regular expressions. And for the project, I'm very lenient on what your actual regular expression ends up being. So, it should work. You should have something, and it should work. But, do what works and try to make it as good as possible. But you should play with these and try these things out. And absolutely you can try some of these, other things that we haven't really looked at too much. And if you get stuck, we can sure talk through those. Regular expressions are amazing. So, yeah, I guess I'll just keep going in this one. Throw something in the chat if anybody has anything else. All right, so I was in the letters here. So this matches, in this case, Green Bay, or any gibberish, and then followed by an actual literal comma, again, followed by 0 or more spaces. So again, it could match 0 spaces, multiple spaces, and then followed by, and this is where I jumped ahead before accidentally, any 2 capital letters. Okay, so it will not match this, or this, or this. Okay, but it'll match that. Followed by, again, 1 or more spaces. So it'll match multiple spaces there. And then finally, 5 digits. Exactly 5 digits, though. So it won't match this. It won't match this. Okay, so if you got the 5 plus 4 zip code digit, it won't match that. So absolutely, you could make this significantly more sophisticated, but already, if you're brand new to regular expressions, this looks pretty intimidating. But you very much so can build on this. And if you just break these down into single items, there's no single item in here that's really difficult to wrap your head around, especially if you have this cheat sheet in front of you. I think none of this is super difficult. And you can do just a lot of amazing things, just with even the this first bunch of things here. Matching any word, any digit, any space, match anything that's in a character class, match anything that's not in a character class, match any range. Very powerful stuff. So what else you guys got? Anything else on address book? or before, or way out in left field. Or anything that's in another class that isn't about human viruses. I can keep talking about regular expressions. I don't know if that's boring or not. Help me out. So, anything else in address book that's confusing? Anything about Bootstrap that's confusing? Anybody have any confusion about CSS at all? Any of this stuff confusing? This was to pull in a Google font. My chat went away. Why did that go away? That's weird. Every time somebody puts something in chat, now it goes, then it goes away. It's weird. Okay. So let's see. Yes, I'm having an issue where my image does not show up when I upload it. So my thing didn't update. I'm sorry about that. So Cole said I'm having an issue where my image does not show when I upload it, and then I cannot submit my new entry to the database. Okay, so you're saying, let's see, this Cole mentioned uploading content doesn't display the photo. Okay, so you guys are both having that same issue. Okay, so you were having an issue with because you added fields, the showing of the image doesn't work. So let's try that out. Let's see. Isn't that right? Oops. Sorry about that. Killed my chat window too. All right, so let's see if we can get to the bottom of that. Okay, so looking first at the one that does work. So the handle file select is where that should be changing. So, oh, am I muted? Sorry about that. Hangouts is great. Sorry about that. Thanks for saying that, Cole. All right, so, oh, now I'm not sharing my screen, I bet, too. All right. Okay. So the image is in the handle file select. At least in my code, yours might be a little different. So the thing that the things that could potentially go wrong, I guess, are if you changed the ID of this so that it's not reading this in for some reason correctly, or if I don't know why you necessarily change this, but it needs to be the first item. Let me just make sure. Okay, and then you also need to have a. I'm doing this part here, so this is working in conjunction with the CSS. So I have this style display equals block, because I have that as hidden the rest of the time. So I have this new contact photo. I think that's the one, right? No, display image. Yeah, display image. I have display none. Okay. So that means it's just not there. Okay. So I have this set to display block then when we upload. And then I set the source to that photo. That should just work if you didn't introduce any other syntax errors into your code. So, so as long as this div is there, and it's you didn't mess anything up with this, and you're reading from the actual new contact photo, you're reading from the appropriate field, you should be. You shouldn't have any issues if you don't have any other syntax errors. But again, like if you don't get to the bottom of it, I will look at that code though. So I don't know if that helped at all. But this is where all that happens, is in handle file select. I have that all happening in here in mine. And you of course, make that different if you want to. I don't know if my chat is not updating or what. Okay, there you go. Something I can share my screen. Okay, yeah, go ahead. You can share your screen. That's fine. Let me turn mine off. don't see anything. Oh, wait. Maybe? No, I can't hear anything. What? I can't hear anything. I'm gonna quit out of my Chrome and come back into it. This is that one of those issues that I was talking about. So I will return in a moment. Okay. I'm still showing yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Hmm. Just try flipping these again. Oh, okay. Are you speaking, Cole? No. Maybe. Uh, okay, I don't know why I don't hear anybody. I hate Google. Okay. Okay, let me stop that.